Beep to beep. Beep, 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 beep. Look. Spring has sprung. The shirt is on. I'm encouraging spring. Come to me. Come to me, you seductive thing. Morning. Right, okay. Just... Some little birdie tells me Everything Everywhere All at Once has sweeped the Oscars. Colour me surprised. Okay, so if you know, you know. My warrior teachers have to watch that one, and then we do, like a discussion and a textual analysis the week after. Textual analysis of that film is just immense. I think I've got 8 pages and I've only done the first 6 minutes. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's incredible, right? Okay. There's a couple of things I want to cover today, and it's just like an endless rant. I'm sorry I'm going to go on as long as I can, because I'm in that kind of mood this morning, because the world has gone officially mad, right? Okay, so here we go. The Times has come out with the Times, right? I want to read this, and then I want to talk about something else, and then I want to come back to this, okay? So first of all, sex education is necessary, but poor guidance on its limits risk harming children. The Times view on sex education in schools. Wild West, that's what it says. What a surprise. The Wild West. Has it really taken that long to wake up the fact that we are now living in the Wild West? Virtually. The pioneering, the frontier. Come on, keep up, the Times. Don't. People of my generation are running this newspaper. Come on, get better at it. Do more. Right, so I just want to read a small piece of it. And then we'll come back to it after, when I've done my rant. All right, okay, so here we go. Teaching school children about sex was once confined to the realm of biology and lessons in human reproduction. That was before the birth of the internet. There has since been an explosion in online sexual information and images, much of it easily available and highly damaging to young minds. In the age of sexting and easy to access pornography, children need to know about the dangers they face. All right, that's the beginning of this particular article, and it's just crap. It's the same crap from a different angle, right? I'll come back to that, right? So what we've currently got, it's caused a bit of a kerfuffle, is James Lindsay. Now, some of you may or may not know. James Lindsay, who's known as Conceptual James on the old Twitteroids, right? When it comes to this wokery nonsense, he's good, right? Their New Discourses website is well worth a search. He's good. I think much higher level than I, but it's good stuff, yeah? Not exactly a man of the people, but certainly a man for the people. Should we say that much, yeah? Hello, James, if you're watching. So, it was International Women's Day the other day, though you would have known it with the amount of men farting about in the ranks, right? But it was International Women's Day the other day. I want to talk about something important, including Matt Walsh. Many people really like Matt and his approach. I think mostly good things about it myself, but many intuit something is off and can't articulate it. It's this, says James. Woke is a woman. The woke ideology is female. Sorry, James. The woke ideology is female. You can't respond to it with toxic masculine strength. In the first line of his tweet, he confuses sex and gender with masculine strength. James, come on. For God's sake, I'm disappointed in you, right? That's punching a woman in the face. You can't respond to it with toxic masculine strength. That's punching a woman in the face. He's not normally this unnuanced, is he? What's he doing? James? In the face. Matt does great, then says stuff like, you wanted this fight, so now you have it. I say things like that. Doesn't mean the fight's physical. What? Have you been on the sauce, young man? Right. That's not how you deal with a hysterical woman. That's for an aggressive man. The hysterical woman. When women were hysterical years ago, James, the first thing they did was slap her in the face. Think about that, kid. Right? You've all seen it in old films. Something awful happens, like, the butler drops the butter and the woman goes, ah! That's such a social faux pas in front of the local gentry, and her husband goes, Madam, pull yourself together. It's one of the oldest tropes in the book, James. What are you doing? Right. Woke advances by summoning demons that barely exist so it can defeat them. Absolutely right. It's about grievance mining. Right? Okay, right. When Matt and other reactionaries step into the aggressive man versus man posture, they become the left's demon and thus help them. Really? Right? Not sure they do. Many people rightly intuit this. Well, they may intuit it. They're wrong, right? It can be sidestepped with strength, though. Let me tell you the single most important thing you must understand about woke activism. It depends entirely on this reaction, so much so that it considers it the real action. Get this into your heads now and start suspecting the manipulation. Right? And then it links to an article, which is worth you having a read of. I'll put the links in the doobers to the tweet, and it's all there then, isn't it? Which is essentially rattling on about what exactly, can I sum this up? The real action is your target's reaction. That they're attempting, they want your reaction. They want your reaction to be one of resistance. I think that's what it's saying. But you go and have a look, political jiu-jitsu, they've coined it. So they want your reaction. Well, it's not unusual, is it? Let's be honest, that's not unusual. I tried to explain this principle in a short podcast. It seems so important. And this can easily be avoided. No gatekeeping, just better strategy. Handle woke as a man, the way you'd handle a hysterical woman, not another aggressive man. Oh, Jesus, James. I can't work out if he's being provocative or he's been on the sauce. Two of my American readers. Pissed. Readers? Oh, see, I need holiday. Buy me a coffee. So, right? Let's go back to the Times article. If we're going to have this damn conversation, let's have it. Right? Let's go back to the Times article. This will upset a few people. Teaching school children about sex was once confined to the realm of biology and lessons in human reproduction. That was before the birth of the internet. This has since been an explosion in online sexual information and images, much of it easily available and highly damaging to young minds. Well, yeah, right. In the age of sexting and easy-to-access pornography, children need to know about the dangers they face. There's only one danger that children face, then, really. Right? And that's no adult in the room. That's the danger. The adults aren't in the room, okay? What James talks about, I think, that thing about the time, it worries me. Children, right, stop it. What, you talking about a 17-year-old, or you talking about a 4-year-old? Right, there's no nuance in this, and there needs to be. Because when I was 7 years old, I wasn't looking at the K's catalogue with lust. By the time I was 12, I was looking at the K's catalogue with lust. And, using my mate's old projector to put porn films on the screen of people far hairier than they are now. But then they were on the screen. They put a sheet up when there's nobody around, all sat there watching. With ridiculous music, Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, hairy knobs and hairy muffs. That was just my youth, right? Anyway, so James goes writing on about, men and all that nonsense about it. It's not fucking complicated, this, folks, right? And we need to start to get our head around it. And this is all tied up with some conversations that I've been having with people over the last week, all right? Is that we haven't so much got a problem with anything other than gender, right? Okay, gender. You've got to see how gender works, right? What's happened to James there is he's fallen for gender's trick. Gender, the mask, right? Gender, the idea of gender that is placed in front of us to fool and trick the unwary. Hysterical women. It's the oldest trope in the book. It's the one that they used, to be honest, to lobotomise Frances Farmer. For those of you unfamiliar with that story, the film Frances Can Help You with Jessica Lange. The blame game. Right? You watch that if you want to understand what happens when you start calling women hysterical. Right? Besides which, have you never met a gay? Have you never met some of the flapping gays that I've seen? They can get hysterical too. The concept of the hysterical is femininity, which is unreal, okay, and cannot be applied to an individual. It can only be an action that is practiced by an individual. Right. Likewise, going around punching people in the face. Not a good idea, is it, eh? Not a good idea. But the concept that somebody is that. No, it's just an action. What I can't help getting past with this feminine and masculine nonsense that we're getting from people is, yes, will we see, for example, a greater degree of emotion demonstrated by women on the bell curve, right? Probably yes, okay? Because they often display emotion differently from men. And gender has labelled that a weakness. You think so? I think the use of emotion at the right time is a devastating weapon. Real emotion, real serious emotion is a devastating weapon. And so what, masculine? I don't fucking care, right? James, finish the damn thought. You haven't finished the thought, and the reason that you haven't finished the thought is because you haven't taken it to its natural conclusion. It's not about toxic femininity and toxic masculinity. It's just simply a toxic parent. It's just simply a toxic parent. That's all it is. Toxic parenting. Too protective, not protective enough. Too emotional, not emotional enough. Too weak, too strong. It's a toxic parent, okay? Now, if we look at our society and how things have gone in the last 40, 50 years, right? We've allowed protectionism, right? Protectionism and parenting and coveting and, careful, to gain a stranglehold over our society. We have allowed a parent to take over even as we're adults. That's what's happened. That's what's happened. Right, that's what it is. Challenge 25. Fuck off. Challenge 25. You don't think that's an overbearing parent? I do. They deliver my Amazon now. So I order a bottle of 19 Crimes. Recommended. I order a bottle of 19 Crimes. And some oik with a spot on a bike says to me, "Can I see your ID, please?" And I just, I sort of sit there and look at him and go, "Are your eyes malfunctioning?" "No, it's the rules." "Really? Right, okay. Mind your own damn business. Can I have your date of birth? Go away." Right? Why? Protectionism. Right? It's all there, right, in school, yeah? Well, we need a trigger warning now. If they're giving you a trigger warning on Roald Dahl, you bet they aren't teaching about the Holocaust, the Holodomor, or Pol Pot, or Mao. The problem is not a problem. The problem is a problem of gender, but the problem is that we're not rising above it and saying that the best of humanity understands how emotion works, and the best of humanity understands how strength works, and how to use that in a way that is for the greater good wherever possible, or for the individual where they are at risk from the group. We just lost our moral compass. And we aren't going to get that moral compass back by, as the Times says, recognising the terrible dangers to children online. There's only one danger to children, and that's when the adults leave the room, when safeguarding takes a holiday. It's the only danger to children. Except the danger when we won't let them die, when the child needs to die, when we need to kill the child because it's worth growing up. The metaphorical child, don't panic. God, you lot. The metaphorical child. The problem is, James, that what you are describing is a toxic parent. It doesn't matter what the sex of the parent is. It's gender that's the problem, because the parent is carrying out gendered roles. That's the problem. So, led James, finish the damn thought. The answer to this ridiculous protectionist, on one side, challenge 25, mind the step, mind your head, drink responsibly, 5 a day, all that protectionist bullshit that our society puts up with, sits alongside, let's put men in women's prisons. Let's treat men in prison awfully. You judge a society by how it treats its worst, not how it treats its best. We have the absolute evidence of not just an overbearing parent, but an absent one. A parent where it pretends to nurture, but in fact nurtures little. Toxic, violent, overweening parent. And the answer to that, James, is not to call woke a woman. The answer to that is to call for everyone to become adults. Go well.